Hi, Glenn McMillan here, author and disability advocate. I'm here to talk about my new book. It is called Beyond the Shadow, Disabling Good Lives. Now look, I'll give you a bit of history here. So, I'm in my mid-60s now. I've been disabled since I was a 10-year-old child. As an accident, I fell off my bike and had major disabilities now for over 50 years. So I've got a bit of experience in the field. Anyway, look, the reason I'm writing this book is because being an advocate, I am very, very active. I'm semi-retired. I'm living in Whangarei in northern New Zealand, working from my home office. I'm working at night, something just landed on me. Going back to my book, it's about the lot of the disabled people in New Zealand. Okay, more than a decade ago, 10 years ago, not sure what government it was, but a principle called Enabling Good Lives was rolled out 10 years ago now. It's been incredibly slow. It started in one or two little regions of New Zealand, and it was based on the principle that a disabled person is actually a person. They can make their own decisions. They know what they need, they're like me. I know what I want, I know what I'm doing, I can make my own decisions. So enabling good life is the principle of working with the disabled community and treating them as an equal as much as you can as an equal. Okay, so look, enabling good lives has been rolling out over many years. It's about decisions, it's about finance. Instead of having a needs assessor come to a disabled person and say, we will provide you X amount of dollars so you can hire a support worker to put you in the shower. We don't want to be talking about being put in the shower. It's not what we want to do. So, we've come from a place, say, 10 years ago where our lives, we were told what to do because everybody knew better than we did. And having good lives, we've had a lot of meetings and a lot of talk and conversation, and it's led to a more equal society. It means that people can look after their own means. They don't need somebody to come and spend 8 minutes with them and then tell them how to run their lives. Shouldn't be how it works. It comes down to medical professionals. What's a doctor appointment now? 10 minutes. How hard is it to see a doctor? What's that? You need more than one appointment. It becomes a nightmare, right? So I have funding, for example, individualised funding, so with enabling good lives, principles meaning people can make their own decisions. They get a pot of money, right? They get a annual allowance, if you like. Now, I'll use an example. I'll just make up an example. We'll call her name Lisa. Lisa, she's got a loving husband there. Just bought their first house, but times are tough. With the mortgage and the cost of living, it's really tough out there. Now Lisa gets pregnant, but during the pregnancy, she's in a car accident, isn't she? Not too badly injured, and the pregnancy goes on unaware that the baby inside her has actually suffered brain damage from an accident. Lisa was all right with the brain damage. Child wasn't. So as the story goes on, the child is born At 9 months, the father's there to watch the birth. About a week or a week and a half after the child's born, I think it's all healthy, and then the doctors start noticing things aren't quite normal. Now it turns out that the impact of the action of the car accident has caused a brain hemorrhage within the unborn child. That brain hemorrhage has led to brain damage. The child will actually still be able to learn, they'll be able to talk, and they can see. They can't walk very well. In actual fact, they can't walk well at all. And they're going to become very, very dependent on their parents. Mum and Dad, not until they're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. 16. No, they may never go to a school. Mother or father, whoever looks after the child, won't be able to work full time because looking after the child is becoming a full-time job. And then what happens? Because you've got a young married couple, they've had their first child, it's all turned to soup. Now, with the pressure and the stress of looking after their child, the relationship's fallen apart. It is now a shared custody situation. Disabled child needing intensive care and shared custody is a nightmare, because do you fund the mother who has a child 5 days a week, or do you fund the father that has a child on the weekends? Either way, you need to fund somebody. What say you don't fund anybody? What say you expect that mother and father to look after the child themselves? It's 24/7 job. Now the child needs nappies when they're 12, 13, 14. It's a terrible situation to be in. So, these people need support, and if they need support should come and need not only financial support to buy the adult diapers, buy the feeding stuff, maybe high oxygen cylinders, wheelchairs, transportation, the disruption to the extended family. A woman alone, they've now got a separation. A woman alone is going to struggle. That lady might be quite small. She might weigh 50 kilos. And then the boy or the girl, whoever it is, starts putting on lots of weight. Now this is a life sentence. There's nowhere that child can go. Mum's got to look after him or her, or Dad's got to look after the child, right? Dad might decide to bugger off. Becomes too much, he's gone to another country. Leaves it all on the mother's case. Now the mother is a 24/7 job. She just doesn't get rest. She doesn't get relaxation. She loves her child. She doesn't want her child to come to harm. She's devoted. But the government will fund her 3 hours a day care. 3 hours out of every 24 hours. There used to be a thing called respite care, which was extra funding, I believe, that woman might be able to go 5 doors down the road to a motel, spend the night in a motel and actually get to sleep. Because if she's in her own house with her own child, She won't get to sleep. She has to get up. There's nobody else here to do it. Okay, so with respite care, she could go away and a caregiver would be funded for an overnight stay. The government wants to take that away from people. Why? You know, as a lady in the motel getting pissed, she's drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes as the minister. Whatever you believe. No, she's not. She's sleeping. She's sleeping because that's what she needs to do. She needs to rest. If you drive someone and you drive them and drive them and drive them, eventually either their body or their mind will start to fail. And in the case of looking after a disabled child, mental health suffers. There's no relationships. You don't have time for relationships, okay? So that's an example of a young mother with a growing child. As the mother ages, the child ages. By the time the child's 14, they're heavier than the mother. Now she's still got to lift them in and out of bed, in and out of the bath. Even though she's now 45 kilos and he's 60. It's not easy. It's not easy. Now let's go on to the example of a blind person, right? I admit I've got a physical disability. I don't know a lot about blindness. But I know to communicate I need certain pieces of equipment. I know that in the society, when they're out in society, the better they're catered for, the better their life will be. Even if it's like tactile strips on the side of the road. Used to be yellow. They're yellow for a reason, so that a blind person has some chance of seeing a colour change. They're making them grey because it's cheaper. Saving money, but they're losing sight of the issue. What about the child themselves? You know, say you've got a young child, the child's going into school. It's just turned 5. He's in a wheelchair. He can talk, but he doesn't talk very well. But he has no limitations when it comes to learning. He has limitations when it comes to communicating that he is learning, but not with learning itself. He goes into this class and he's learning, he's actually picking it up, he's more devoted and he's faster than the other kids. His brain works better than theirs because other parts of him don't, so the brain compensates. Okay, it's called spastic, mental, just cruel names. Because people don't understand, because he can't communicate. He can't communicate. Put him in front of a computer even at a very young age, and he may be able to communicate in writing as best a young child can do. But as he progresses, when he gets to the age of 10, 12, 10 or 12, they're very grown up now. By this time he needs all the communication devices, but he needs understanding. His parents need understanding because they're still looking after him. Again, he's a disabled child. I'm sure he's not spending the fun money on alcohol or tobacco. There's lots and lots of examples. Somebody that's multiple cirrhosis, they've been healthy, but suddenly their health is deteriorating. They're going to end up in a wheelchair. Their house is going to need modifications. Where's the money for the modifications going to come from? It's got to be considered. When, in an unfortunate reality that under previous governments, people can wait literally years for funding. Someone has to drag them up and down a flight of stairs because they can't get a ramp. With the cuts that the national government is proposing, time waits are going down. Waiting time is just going to balloon out. We know that, at the moment, the people that I'm seeing and hearing through social media, those that are disabled themselves or those that have disabled children or family are really worried. They're worried about what's going to happen to them. Will they survive? One lady said to me she almost ended it 2 weeks ago because she just can't do it. She can't do it anymore, and it's sad because what we need is understanding. So look, I'll go back to my book. So what I've done is I've looked at the Enabling Good Lives principles that we've been following in New Zealand for about 10 years. And they're all about moving forward and making things better, equalising the system. Right, and then as the book goes on, it very quickly turns to disabling good lives. And what disabling good lives means is you roll back the progress you've been making over the last decade. You roll it back, and we know why it's been rolled back. You're rolling it back so you can give tax cuts to landlords. You can give big tax relief to 3,500 families in New Zealand. What about the rest of them? 3,500 is not a lot, It's not only the disabilities. I turn on the news every night, I read the news. What is it? It's cuts to the service. It's cuts to health, it's cuts to education. There's a theme here, and the theme is cuts, right? But service cuts in order to fund it, tax cuts. Tax cuts that will mostly benefit only 3,500 families out of a population of, 5 million, something like that. Haven't really looked into it, but it's why are we in a position in the disabled community that people are so stressed, it's not just a little bit of stress, Mr. Seymour. You can't just snap out of it. If your 16-year-old child is 85 kilos and you're only 55, makes life really difficult. The husband's gone. There's no family. You've taken away the funding for the support workers. There's not a lot of thought gone into this, so I want you guys to look at my book, read my book. Beyond the Shadow, it's a very good title, Beyond the Shadow. Beyond the Darkness might be even better. Disabling Good Lives. I've made a good logo. I've spent a lot of time researching this book. I've got comparisons with other countries that have done similar things where they've got austerity measures and who cops at first, the disabled people cop. Doesn't work. It works better the other way. It actually works better that if you support us, right? Example, that 5-year-old child I told you about is in a wheelchair, started school 5 years old. Gets really ridiculed, he gets called mental and spastic. I did. My most popular name at school was mental or spastic. I was also top of the class in science and mathematics and biology, so I was pretty clever. Far more clever than them because I was top in class, not middle, top. Now, I had a voice disability, and this is something you need to consider. So you imagine this child, right, so he's 5 years old. He's getting a hard time, but he's sticking to it, and then he gets to 10, and then he goes to intermediate, and then he ends up, he's approaching school leaving age, actually let's roll it back, so he's 12. He's 12, even though he still can't communicate because that's part of his disability. The devices have been much better, so technology is caught up and he's able to communicate well with those around him. Suddenly he's achieving, he's reached near the top of his class in some subjects. But it's a boy, he's only 12. Okay, then Mum and Dad say, I wonder whether we can start teaching him to do a job. When he leaves school at 16 or 17, when he finishes his studies, what's he going to do? In order for the disabled child with a limited communication to get a job, he's going to need to be better than the others. So I felt when I was, I left school at 10, I went to hospital. I spent 4 years in hospital. Got back to school at age 16, I got called mental and spastic. I left school at 16, I was reasonably successful in my exams. I went straight into an electronic apprenticeship. And then I've achieved multiple qualifications over the years. I've gone for, I bought a house, had a house in Auckland, had my own business, employed people, done really well in life, but that's because I didn't accept being told no. So we'll go back to that 5-year-old. So the 5-year-old's got to 10, now he's 14, at 12 rather. He started thinking occupation. So at 12 he started doing engineering online. Okay, so he's engineering online, and when by the time he's 16 and he's actually ready to leave school, he's got 4 years of study all behind him. I bet you the other kids didn't do that because they were out playing, they were doing things that this child can't do, and his parents were really wise. They actually thought about it at an early age, so when he did leave school he would be ahead of the others. My parents said they made sure I was ahead of the others, and I was. Okay, so the boy gets out of school, and the employers go, oh, but he's in a wheelchair and he can't communicate, but we've got these devices and he's really quick, so he might be a bit slower than speech, but he can still communicate his ideas. Certainly, look at the screen, look what he's doing. Look at his designs, look at the geometry, the strength, all the good things. Now, in order to accomplish this, his parents had to have vision. So now he's, at a young age, he's got a nice, secure job. It's going to keep him employed until retirement, because engineers will always be needed and they will always be developing and learning as new technologies come along. Look, I need to cut this video short. I'm just getting used to doing YouTube videos. Haven't done a lot of them before. I've got a website. The website is disabilityleadership.co.nz. I run a charity, Children with Disability New Zealand. I'm a photographer. Catch me on Instagram at Glenn McMillan Photography. But take the time, read the book. It's a really good book. I put a lot of effort into it, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Thank you for your time, and good night.